passion, so fun and work can be the same thing. And I think when fun and work are married together, like in a place like this, that it shows to our end users, our students, that this is more than just a building where we're learning music. They're getting the peripheral things, friendships. And even in these bands, we teach the things like, how do you deal with your nerves, things like that. But the reason why I think people like this place is because we are who we are who we should say we are. We want the best for all these students. We want growth, but I know that the more music we put out into a community, the better that community is for it.
We are looking forward our way. Hi, this is Brett. Today, Carol and I are on location with our guests Chad Greenwald and Russ Miller. They are the owners of School of Rock Columbus. It's an exciting opportunity to learn more about this musical program and not only hear about the organization, but actually see and hear it live. Chad and Russ, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Certainly.
Thanks for letting us come and see your studio. It's phenomenal. And
Studios, my
studios,
gosh.
yes,
Yeah.
it's like never ending. This is pretty cool. So the instruments and asking questions like, "What's that?" So we appreciate it. Brett, we've had some episodes to discuss changes in creative arts programs during the pandemic. Today, we're going to find out how, regardless of the bumps of the pandemic, that music programs are not only surviving but thriving. However, before we get into the details of School of Rock, Chad and Russ, tell us about you first, and tell us, your backgrounds and how you became the owner of School of Rock.
All right. So background, I guess we'll do musical background. So I went to Ohio State, like many of the people that live here in Columbus, and I decided to become a music major after a brief stint of becoming an art history major, which I did enjoy very much. So I graduated with a couple degrees, and I went the route of teaching. I taught at Reynoldsburg High School for 1 year and discovered that it really wasn't what I wanted to do. And I got into private lessons. I was always performing still. I did private lessons, and I really found a joy in that. And over the last 20 years, I've amassed a bunch of students and gone through, siblings and entire families. And COVID happened, and I was like, I want to be able to spend time with my kids. I have twin boys that are 7, and I just realized that I am the after school activity, and I want to be able to go to the after school activities. And I looked at School of Rock before my kids were born, didn't think it was right. And then I believe it was March of 2021, maybe, I started really looking into it, and I was like, this is right. It's the time I need to get into this. So then I did like maybe about a month or so of research on it. And then I was like, I don't think I can do this on my own. So I called my good friend, my best friend, Russ Miller, who's here today.
I'm right here.
In all his glory. And I was like, hey, do you want to do this? And I think there was probably a tear knowing him that he was really excited about it. As of course he would do it. And that's kind of how we started our journey. And then I believe over the next couple of months, we talked to their franchising team, and eventually we went to Chicago in August to check it out. And I was very concerned about the idea of selling out because I'm very much an independent artist when it comes to that. And it really is a loosely based franchise. So we're able to really do our own thing. As we sit in this room, we have a mural, painted by one of our instructors here. And I decided that, this was a right fit, and I believe we signed on in October of that year. And then over the next, 5 months, we actually were able to do all of the build out, the demolition, construction, and open on March 4th. Within that time, we were able to do all that, and we've been thriving since, and we've found ourselves to be a part of this community here. And I love Grandview.
It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't realize there's people drive their golf carts here with their families. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bikes. It's a small town feeling right next to Columbus. Yeah. You're right.
It's really an incubator for small businesses. It always has been.
Oh, it's great here.
It's lovely, and we've become really good pals with the Parks and Rec department. We do all of their community events, and we're honestly so thankful to be a part of this. The community. It really is a community, and I'm not using that as like a generic like, hey, we're all one big community. No, this is beautiful. I think I want to move here.
When kids are here and the parents will sit in the lobby, there's days that I truly look forward to because the parents are fun and I'm at the desk and we're just talking. It's wonderful. Yeah. So I think they get something out of bringing their kids here too. And
Russ, tell us about your background too, though.
Yeah.
My background is it's very different. I went to a college you haven't heard of. It's called Nice Try University. I didn't finish.
Next door to School of Hard Knocks University?
Oh.
Yeah.
I tried college. I don't have a college brain, but I have
Not true.
I have a musical brain.
Not true. I'm joking.
But golly.
So you partnered up with him because he's the money guy then.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Okay, he's a drummer. Yeah.
I was in the corporate world for a while, all the while from 10 years old to now. I've always been a drummer. It was always a writing force in my life. It changed my development as a kid. It helped me to get better grades. It gave me something to focus on and just something to build some really value for myself and some confidence and self-worth. And I can't not drum. I'm 43 and we're still wearing tank tops on stage and playing every weekend somewhere.
Honestly, tank tops last night was great.
Oh, ski and shorts. And
yeah.
So what's interesting is neither of you really came from a strong business background.
No.
Ish.
He's an entrepreneur.
Yeah, my family has always been, my dad's side has always been small businesses. My grandfather, he was a mechanical contractor, had his own business. My dad had his own mechanical contracting business. My grandmother started her own antique business. My uncle had his own law firm. So it's always been in that entrepreneurial spirit, if you could say it right.
That word, just give up.
I gave up on it.
It's too hard.
And it's really been a thing that's been super important to me as to be able to do my own thing and be able to be in charge of that. This is technically a corporate job, and this is technically my first corporate job I've ever had. I worked at Rite Aid when I was 18. That was the last corporate job I had. Mm-hmm. So, and I was stocking shelves, so not so much corporate. But so technical business background, no. But being a musician, you have to be a business person. As an independent musician, you have to do everything yourself. You do your taxes, you do your marketing, you do your social media, you do your booking, you do everything. So I've been doing that since I started performing, and actually I'm a booking agent as well. So I book for several venues and a couple country clubs and all that are in the area and private events. So it's really, business is in me, and it has become. You have to be a business person to be a musician to be successful. Mm-hmm. So yes, in that sense of business, yes. But did I ever work in an accounting firm? No. Yeah.
Right. So how did the School of Rock organization align with your missions and goals? Because obviously you did some investigations, some homework. Mm-hmm. You liked what they were doing. So as a large corporation, so how does that match with what you're trying to get accomplished then with your goals and mission and mission of the location here?
Well, I will say that educationally, I've always in my lesson have used songs to teach different techniques. And that's a huge part of the School Rock method, is the idea that you learn the different techniques, different scales, different theory, but by learning the song. And I've done recitals where I had my students perform in groups, and that's basically what we do here. So it kind of aligned really well, with what I've already done. So, and they just take it to a different level with performing out. So as we were talking kind of earlier, our different groups will perform at different venues. So where we will be performing at the Upper Arlington Labor Day Arts Fest with our performance group. We actually are sponsoring a stage for the full weekend at the Coffee Fest at the Ohio Historical Village. And we play at like, the 4th of July, Oktoberfest, St. Patrick's Day, any kind of festival in town, we'll do that, and it's really lovely to see kids and adults perform. Our adult band, they've done the end of season shows. We performed at Woodlands for our first one, then we're doing it Standard Live for our second one.
September 10th.
September 10th.
We do have tickets if you're interested, and we'll have tickets at the door also.
Yeah, for your listeners, they'll be free if it's posted before September 10th.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can make that happen.
Exactly.
And
if nothing else, we'll have it on our Facebook page.
yeah,
All right.
Exactly.
Much appreciated.
Exactly.
And then the adult band will also be playing their first non-end of season show at the Coffee Festival. And the adult band, it's really a lovely group of people.
Against the Wind is their name.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We also have a
so
band,
good.
a band named Horse Femur. So
Take it or leave it.
Take
it.
How old are they?
the kids. We have-
13 to 18 for horse femur.
oh, and they brought us a horse femur.
a legitimate. We have a horse femur.
Yeah. All right.
It smells funny.
Yeah.
I won't smell it.
Yeah.
I
So, I had never heard of School of Rock. Brett
that's fair.
brought this to our podcast. Tell me how big this is. It's a national organization, right?
It's international.
Over 330 schools
Probably bigger
globally, probably more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brazil, there's
Japan.
there's a few in Japan.
South Korea. Somewhere in Europe. I don't know.
Any idea number of kids or individuals who are participating?
Oh, how many internationally?
I think 50,000 kids.
There was actually
students.
It might be
total.
more actually. I think there was a number. It was like 60 or 70,000. Yeah, internationally.
Very cool.
And now the programs are all very, very similar, but they're all different. So what makes us special is what we do here. I have the musical background. Russ is still a drummer. Sorry. I'm sorry.
This place is owned by musicians. He
Yeah.
loves to trash me, but
Russ is a musician. He's a professional.
Yeah.
For a long time. No. This is good for you. For a long time. So we
can
actually
you hear my eye rolls on the audio?
get closer.
All right, go ahead.
So Russ and we met at a church that we used to play at together a long time ago.
Long time.
And he was the drummer there, and I was just the music student, needing a gig, and I did it. And I met him. We liked each other, but I would always say you're a professional drummer because at that point he was in a band. I wasn't in a band with him at that point, and he would not call himself a professional drummer, even though to be a professional you just need to get paid. That's literally it. And he was getting paid. He didn't consider himself. It took him, I think, 15 years into our relationship for him to call himself a professional drummer.
Well, I hold that in a regard, anything professional. And I feel like maybe in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe I felt like I've started to earn that. So maybe I'm more comfortable.
Well, the one thing you haven't done is give us the name of the band.
Oh yeah. The
Zack Attack.
Zack Attack.
Zack Attack.
Zack.
Attack.
Like we play all over the Midwest. We were in Cincinnati last night. We're in
Troy.
Troy tonight, then Dublin, but then next weekend we'll be in Lexington, Salina, and then Powell. Very excited about
We're in Dublin tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good.
So on our website, when we post this, which may or may not be before September,
Sure.
They will get free tickets to the end of season show.
if they do. But we will put all, audience, we are going to put all of this information on our show notes.
Awesome.
So that people can find your social media platforms, everything, so that they can follow
Oh, good.
Okay.
Zack Attack.
Yeah.
So Zack Attack is
The greatest throwback party band ever.
that's what
is our title.
It's Zack Attack Party is I think the at for it is or zackattack.com ZACK
And
attack.
in all the fun that we create on stage, we take our performances very seriously and are there for performance and
they're fun.
entertainment. And they're so I'm getting the same amount of fun that the people out there watching are.
Good.
It's a wonderful honor to be able to do that
Good.
as a job.
So to be successful here, you both have to have different roles. Can you talk about your roles in the business?
We like rolls. I sometimes like buns.
Buttered rolls.
Yeah, biscuits at the same place.
Serving.
Yeah, so we've been open for 5 months, and we've been kind of finding our feet in what we do for our roles here. So we also have a general manager, Stuart, who is it's funny. He's Scottish, but people think he's like Australian or from Alabama. It's very weird.
Wow,
he's
great.
wonderful. So he came
That's
from
a stretch.
yeah, it's well. We once played a gig where someone said, "You guys need to speak American," and they meant that. So it's not a stretch. So so Stuart came from School of Rock already. He was a general manager at a different one in the area, and so it definitely helped us. So he serves as a music director and kind of overseer of the staff. I serve the role of kind of marketing, social media, kind of overseeing a little bit of everything and the money stuff. And Russ is communications, and he definitely helps with the music and directing people there, as well as just communications. He's able to communicate not just with
I like
students
talking with the families.
yeah, and
There's
just
a lot of scheduling communication that happens up front. Someone has to be up there to just.
and staff as well. And he also helps with social media. So we're finding our feet and our roles as we go, kind of organically. I've always been kind of anal retentive. So that's why I look at everything all the time, which is why I have more gray hairs. And then the black hairs that I did have are leaving my head. So
You're scaring them away.
I did.
Get out of here.
But it's really it's interesting to see how things go, because I thought I would be back here doing music, and because that's what my educational background's in. I have literally a degree in music education. But it's cool to kind of see where things go, and it's working. We're successful. The kids love it here. The staff love being here. And, it's really nice to see this evolve and see where it's
Did you
going.
have a specific vibe that you wanted to make sure this place had?
Yes.
Yeah.
Us.
Okay.
Yes.
Period.
That it? Okay.
I mean, we wanted, I mean, like, if we're specific, we wanted education to be paramount. We wanted it to be fun, and we didn't want it to feel like a money grab, because yes, it does cost money to go here, but we also want to make sure that, the students here, whether they are kids or adults of any age, that they'll feel like this is, Russ and I have passion for music. This is literally what we do outside of this. This is all I've ever done as an adult, except for Rite Aid when I was 18. I want to make sure that the kids feel that, and it's really wonderful to see. So in one of our performance groups, there's a person in the group that literally is taking pictures, create a text thread, and it dresses the parts, and has actually like having the kids starting to dress the part. We have a young girl who literally shaved off half of her hair,
Laura on the side.
Yeah.
She's got racing stripes. She's ready to go.
and then or like someone.
She's as tall as her guitar.
Yeah,
Also,
she is. She is as tall as her guitar, and it's really great to see the kids kind of just it's becoming a micro community. Maybe is that the term?
There is. This is a
Yeah.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world, and as a developing child, as an adult, we all are faced with things that I know that music can help pacify or help you deal with. And I think it all starts with confidence. It starts with friendship. It starts with a place you can go to and look forward to that just sets you up differently for the week. I like things on the calendar where I can look forward to them. Maybe it changes my efforts during the week or something like that. But this place, I can see them, the people coming in and being happy to be here, and we're happy to see them here. The
like I mentioned the community as well. We
best
mentioned,
community.
yeah, like I mentioned the drum set someone donated to us earlier, or people are saying, "Hey, what can we do to help?" And it feels weird because this is still a business, but they view it more than a business. Excuse me.
We have one of our parents is helping us develop, the stuff out front, just marketing things. And I had to ask him to put a commission on it this time. I'm like, please charge yourself for this.
People
But he's happy to help. It's just I think it's telling of what we're trying to do here, and we're not.
You've created a community as opposed to the first and only piano lessons I had as a kid, which were to learn the scales.
Yeah.
Couldn't pass that, so that was the end of my music background. But so you've really created a second home for them.
The music approach too of putting the song in front of all of our students works the same for adults as it does with kids. It's like that carrot in front of you. So you're learning the song, but also now I know a G chord and I can play an E, and it's kind of cracking a code of motivation. It makes it more exciting, makes learning more exciting because I can play through the chorus now. Now I can play the bridge. So you're just adding things, and then you have a song, and I can play all these chords too. It's not disguised learning in any way, but it just puts what we're going for right out in front, and we get right immersed in the song. So I love that.
Let's dive a little bit more into that, because my next question is, as you've mentioned, you've got little ones who barely are as tall as their instrument, to the old rockers who have come back out, haven't touched their drums for 40 years and coming back at you. You've got a specific way that you're teaching your children. Talk about, how does a student start the program? What are the services that you're providing them? It's individual lessons, it's group lessons. Give us a little more detail on that.
We're a performance school first and foremost. So our goal is to have each student have a one-on-one rehearsal where they're learning the material that they would then go and rehearse with the band in a guided rehearsal. So one of our teachers will be there kind of mediating rehearsal, but you're learning and then you're applying, and then it culminates in a show.
And they also have lessons before the rehearsal as well. So it's our performance program is basically a lesson and then the rehearsal once a week.
So some people come back twice. Some people have a lesson right into rehearsal, but we're dialing into the stuff and then they're applying it at the rehearsral.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty cool looking.
Yeah. So you've got on the website, performance is at the heart of music. And you're speaking to that. So let's dig into that a little bit more. I mean, how do you incorporate that into the music lesson per se? Does it change? I guess my question really is, does it change depending on age and the music skill level?
Yeah.
That walking in, obviously you have them from, this is the very first day I've ever touched a piano, to, I used to, just haven't touched it for a while.
Different levels of bands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you communicate to a child differently than you would communicate with an adult. So and then sometimes, so let's say we mentioned a drummer that played when they were younger and hasn't played for 40 or 50 years. You kind of say, hey, let's start fresh. Let's pretend like you haven't played, because as an adult, you're used to being able to get stuff right away because you know what you're doing. But it'll be real frustrating really quickly if you're like, I used to be able to do this. So let's just say, let's start fresh, clean slate. But with a kid, I mean, they never played, so it's a lot easier. But so, I mean, I've taught people never playing an instrument. I think the oldest I ever taught was a 76-year-old. Never touched an instrument in their entire life, played guitar and performed. It was, when I was teaching privately, Bob Carpenter, that's his name. I'll remember his name because I just remember he's the oldest student I've ever had. It was awesome. I mean, especially starting brand new, I mean, never touching an instrument. But yeah, so communicating with adults, you treat them like adults. You don't talk, you don't tell them exactly what to do. You say, hey, this is why we do this. You give them reasoning, the rationale behind why you're doing something, because most adults like knowing what you're doing and the reasoning for that.
Are adults more impatient than the kids, or?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I'm just curious.
No, the kids are usually more impatient. Adults are,
Gotcha.
So it's great. I mean, so we have young adults, in their 20s, but I would say the majority of our adults are anywhere from 40 to 75. I don't ask how old people are. Let's say 75, 76.
We have a lot of parents that will come in and take a lesson while their kid is taking a lesson.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Sure. They both walk in with their guitars. It's super cute.
But then the notion too is they go home and they can practice together just like they're working with their peers in their groups now.
One dad, he said, my daughter was showing me some stuff and telling me I was doing it all wrong. So he started lessons here because she kind of got into his ear about, you can do this too. The Gentry.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah, so
Very cool.
As I say, we have an adult band, made out of a 24-year-old and 60-year-olds.
So big range in age.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention too with the programming, we do lessons only. There might be some adults that just want to come and learn their instrument and might be threatened by performance. We understand that. The more you're around the performance, the more you soften up to it. But that's not a requirement here. If it's just for continued learning or a new tool you're looking to put in your belt, we do that too. But we are always a performance school. But we're not going to tell someone no if they don't want to be in a band. We have plenty of people that come and have a lesson weekly. Renee comes.
We're not trying.
She's great.
Yeah.
Well, playing is very intimate if you think about it. I mean, it's that you're setting yourself up for mistakes and people looking at you doing something wrong. But it can also be the opposite, that it's that you have these group of people that are so supportive of you. And when you do it, they're there for you.
Yeah, this is Mistake City in here, and I've had a few encounters where some of my younger students struggle with the amount of mistakes they're making, and they're expecting to get it right away, and just setting up an expectation that, let me hear 20 mistakes out of you. This is the room we're going to do it in.
Yeah,
and then next week you're going to have less mistakes, and this is our pathway of so just patience and learning, but given reward. Hey, you got this. You working out a section really feels good on a song.
Most kids are used to, they pick up their phone and they learn to do something right away. They don't think anything of it, and it should be immediate.
Yeah.
So this is a good learning lesson for them.
Slows us down a little bit. It puts us back into the reality that I think humans are made to be in, not an instantaneous reality. Something with some effort behind it that really has more payoff and sticks around longer.
Yeah, right. Two things that are important with making mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough.
Right.
And number two, people always say that the old idiom is that practice makes perfect. No, there's a new idiom: practice makes progress. And that's really huge to understand, because perfection is never a thing, that you could always do better.
Right.
Yeah,
for sure.
So let's take the notion of the performance the next step. You've got this group, they've been practicing. Those opportunities to provide them with audiences, that gets a little complicated, I would think. Tell us how you implement that part of the program. How are the performances created? How are they scheduled? Are they open to the public? Are there differences in the performances based on the younger kids and the older students?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. How do we set up our gigs with, like we said earlier, Chad's a booking agent, so we have a lot of friendly communication with clubs already. So we'll set up a place, but in terms of the material that the bands are playing, is that what you're gonna say?
I was gonna lean back.
It was
great.
It's appropriate to their level. So we have an introductory band called Rock 101, where the height of the guitar and the kids are very similar, and then performance program, and then adult program. So the songs that are chosen are going to be in that lane of ability, and some songs we'll pick to challenge them a little bit. But there's the adult band has they get some input on what songs they'd like to play. So right now they're in the process of submitting songs that we have a bank of songs at School of Rock that we can play and play out.
We have licenses and sync licensing as well. So copyrights, we're good.
Yeah,
so, we're legal.
So they get a little bit of involvement in, hey, what do I want to play? What would sound fun? What would sound good with the ability in the band? So they get to be a little creative on that front too. And
eventually, once the adults have enough material, we're actually going to give them their own gig, their own performance. Not so like the end of season show that I mentioned earlier on September 10th, which might or might not be posted on time. That we will have not just the Rock 101 kids, and the performance group is 13 to 18-year-olds, but we'll also have our adult band as well there. Even though there's kids there, it works really well. They're very supportive of the kids, just like the kids are supportive of the adults. The adult band has been really steady, and it's been really wonderful to see them. They made T-shirts for the band, that kind of stuff. And the material's getting up. So in all honesty, they could probably play a show on their own in the near future, and I would love to help them out with that. So I'm also the booking agent for the Columbus Crew, so I do their music there, and So I've had School of Rock perform there as well in the past. And, we are very much, with the skill sets that we all have, we're very much set up for success here, and I very much like the adults in the group are wonderful. It's really great to see him. So we mentioned that drummer, Ted, he's very, very, very verbose on how much he loves this school, and he's also the number one doubter of himself, but he'll just say how not good he is, but he's incredible from where he came from, and it's awesome. The band we have there's a husband and wife that come here and they make it a date night. So they have their lessons and they go get food. Then they go get Chipotle afterwards, and then they hang out, and then they do the performance at the end, or the rehearsal at the end of the night. And it's very cool. These they're making it like, instead of a lesson, they're making it an activity, just an activity, an event. Yeah.
An event, and it's
so I want to go there too.
Let's go there,
because I think the benefits of music and music programs, we know that for young kids. And we hear more about it when schools stop their music program, and all of a sudden it's a loss. So let's talk about those benefits of an older adult that you're seeing, and also from research and such. Why is it so? I could see a 60 or 7-year-old going, man, I've only got another few more years to play. Why am I doing it now? No, I mean. So they have a few more years. So what? I mean, let's talk about the benefits that you're seeing of an older adult, not necessarily versus a younger person, but just where you are right now.
Yeah. There are a few things that pop to mind. General cognitive maintenance. As we age, music is proven to repair some of those things and just stave off some things that we hope not to happen as we age. Friendships was another thing. The older we get, maybe the less we're social, the less we're out. We know
the fewer friends of ours who are still
with us.
Still with us.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
There's that's a huge one. So that breathes life into someone's life as they're learning their music. And there's true friends there now in the adult program. They're buddies. They hang around later. Yeah. They don't have to stay here, and they'll stick around. And
we want them to leave so we can go home. But they
You're not going to tell them about this podcast, are you?
Oh, I will. They know they were joking, but
they're wonderful.
They're so great. Like, they go out. They go out. It's so having that, like Russ was saying, having that social, making it a social event. It gives them something to look forward to every week, and then also during the week, it gives them something to do. Let's say they're, and they retired, there's not much to do other than like golf and, I don't know, watch Maury or something. I don't know. And so like the idea is like, I have to practice. So I make sure that I do what I need to do for the rehearsal.
Accountability to others in a group form maybe causes you to rehearse more and to
practice, yeah.
You had also mentioned early on in the podcast that at the end of each term, you have a show.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So how does that compare to the other programs that you do with the groups? Is that the same?
Same.
That's the one.
September 10th, which we're offering free tickets.
Okay. So basically, it's like the term of a class. They finish that lesson, and this is their culmination of
delivering
their
what they've
cool.
been. So like 7-song set. Bands will get a half-hour set.
45 for them probably. So it's more of it's like a recital basically. Okay. It's the idea of a recital, but as a band, like in a bar, in a venue, and we have a light show, we'll have the haze, we have a sound guy doing like sound guy things. And so it's a real deal thing. We like our first end of season show that we did was at Woodlands, and it was packed. The entire place was packed. And that was just the first one we did. It's really cool.
That was really wild to see everyone.
And we will definitely post the information.
Yeah, on September 10th, you mean?
Yeah,
September 10th.
Thank you, Karen.
You can tell he's a promoter.
Yeah, you just
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're starting our new season on the next day after September 10th, and
the 11th, is that right?
It's one day before. It's one day before the 12th. The Monday after Sunday, September
Got
the
it.
10th.
Right.
Got it.
And
Yes. Okay, and then when is the next one after that?
this after September the 10 plus 1.
Yes.
That one.
January.
22nd, I think.
Okay.
So it's literally seasonal. You know,
Right.
it's different seasons for different seasons. So we about 3 or 4 months, you know, for the most part.
I was just going to ask how long those are. About 3 or 4 months. And okay,
So so for most groups, so Rock 101 performance groups, the students in there, those are kids. They're from ages 8 to 18 in those groups that we have. They'll move around, and we're creating new groups as well as we grow as a business. And so performance will have different themes. So we have 2 performance groups coming up in the new season. We have arena rock, which is like Queen and stuff like that, and then we have like pop punk and emo, which is like Blink 182 and like more like, you know, that kind of stuff. And then, but the adult band is different, which I love. Because it's like a real band. It's ongoing. The members stay the same. They're growing. We're actually adding two guitarists, I believe, in the new season. That one was originally in the group, but I think he injured himself, so he wasn't able to play, and he's coming back. And then a parent of one of the performance group kids is actually joining. He's great. He's super great. He's super tattooed, and he looks the part already. You know. I'm pasty and have 0 tattoos, and I've been on rock my entire life.
You can fix one of those things.
Which one?
Oh, you get a prison tattoo.
Prison tattoo,
really cheap.
They're really easy. Yeah. I have pens. We have so many pens here. We could do it. The adult band. The adult band is a continuous group, and they're growing their set list, and they're not changing. We might add a second adult group because it's becoming a very popular thing, and since your listeners will be hearing this, they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do School of Rock," and they'll be coming here. Then we'll add a third adult group. Mm-hmm. You're never too old to learn how to play an instrument.
Yeah,
and that's for real. The first time you come here is actually a free trial.
Ooh, okay.
So you can try it without spending any money, and you know, like if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't.
And you want to make sure we're the appropriate amount of crazy for the, you know,
right.
We're not too. We're not enough. We're just right there in the pocket.
Chad, you had mentioned that
yes.
There are some programs that the state of Ohio provides kids.
Actually, yeah, this is
tuition dollars.
This is Russ's thing. Actually, Russ has spearheaded this.
The ACE program. Mm-hmm. So for qualifying families, students are entitled to $1,000 to use for continuing education. We became a provider in that network. So we're new to it. We're in it now, but that reason, I hate to see when a parent can't afford it and their kid really needs it, or this gives them some time here to really create some, you know, quality in that kid's life musically. Right. We're working through it. We have a good amount of.
We have a good amount, and it doesn't also need to be like. You don't need to be broke to use it. It's really.
I think it's a $75,000 family income threshold.
Yeah,
and then annually, for however long this program is, it's funded federally. They keep releasing $1,000 every July for them to. It's pretty cool.
It's great. It's wonderful. We've seen a lot of kids that would never have the opportunity, and it's. For us, you know, one of the things that Russ and I were really excited about, not just with the ACE program, but we've never been in a place where we could actually help different like schools or people, because we've never had such a big platform. So, for instance, like we've done assemblies at schools where they would never probably get anything of the quality. We worked with Beatty Park Elementary in Columbus, which was really, really, really just a ton of fun, and you could tell that it brought a lot of joy to their faces. And this is something that is near and dear to both Russ and I's heart.
And that was one thing that didn't solicit any new students from us. It was we wanted to go out, and
it wasn't a moneymaker.
Just share that, and it was fun.
It was fun, yeah. And then same thing with the ACE program, and we're very thankful to be able to do something like that, you know. And eventually, when we're in the place, we will have scholarships available. Not quite yet. We're not there. But when we do, we will, because we love when, let's say there's a kid in the program and they just love it with all their heart. They're practicing, but it's just something that a parent can't afford. We'll make it work because, having that kind of kid in our program is everything we want. And, not everyone, is able to afford lessons. I mean, music is not cheap in general. And, we do a good job at keeping it down price wise, but we want to make sure that everyone has the ability to be here.
And listeners, we'll put a link to the ACE program on our website with the show notes for this program, so that if somebody is interested, they'll be able to find out more about the program and then can contact you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks.
to be a really good entrepreneur or business owner, you've got to have future plans. So what's the future hold 5 years, 10 years from now?
Can't tell you.
Okay.
This is top secret.
No, so we
Next question.
No, there's a couple things that I really don't want to mention, but for real, that are entrepreneurial.
As much as you can. Yeah.
We'd like to expand.
Okay.
This has been a really fun process, and having the ability to do that would be wonderful. I know that it not just in location, but the size of this space. We know that our next door neighbor is probably not going to be there after their lease runs out. I can say that, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So our lease runs out. So if we get to the point where we can afford it, we'll just knock a wall through the wall, and then we'll just expand. I mean, so we're doing, as I showed you in the beginning, we have those little kids rooms. That's Little Wing and Rookies, which is from ages 3 to 7. That's really popular. We just opened up our second room, and we are currently in talks with a federal agency that is looking to use our program as well. So they're going to be busing a lot of children here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Bring them here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
That's cool.
That's a great thought.
Once again, can't mention specifics, but
No,
yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
No,
And
that
because then you
speaks
can-
volumes with what you just said. No, that's great.
Well, and when those all fall into place, you can come back and visit us, and we can have another fun fest
Yeah.
podcast.
I would. Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
Well, the one thing we always ask our guests is any words of wisdom, last words of wisdom that we didn't get a chance to talk about today that you were hoping
sure.
we would discuss, or just,
You started.
talk about why people are coming here, and why they should be coming here.
Because passion, so fun and work can be the same thing. And I think when fun and work are married together, like in a place like this, that it shows to our end users, our students, that this is more than just a building where we're learning music. They're getting the peripheral things, friendships. And even in these bands, we teach the things like, how do you deal with your nerves, things like that. But the reason why I think people like this place is because we are who we are. We are who we say we are. Mm-hmm. We want the best for all these students. We want growth, but I know that the more music we put out into a community, the better that community is for it. And I think there's never enough of that. And there's always time for us to gain confidence from anything we can. And music is something that is such a deliverer of confidence that I'm passionate to share that. It's given me, I had imposter syndrome for a long time. And I think that's what we were loosely talking about with Chad was I'm not a professional musician.
It wasn't loosely. It was
I'm a self-taught drummer. I've learned a lot from some of my heroes and things, but that's accessible in any form. And so that I just growth and the ability to come here and not be judged at all. There's every different type of person is in this school, and I hope that every one of those people feels like this is a place to call their own too. Mm-hmm. So that's my why.
Okay.
What's your why?
That was really great.
All right.
Yeah. Other than
I'm the sappy one.
I was going to be sappy.
There's
You took my sap.
he is my greatest friend in the world, and there's passion in what we do, and that shows. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but the fun
It's nice.
has to be part of what we were doing.
Yeah.
And there had to be a something we could see happen in people. Mm-hmm. Great. Watching people grow up a little bit musically is and grab a little more confidence. I'm grabbing confidence. I'm trying to every week.
Yeah.
There's never enough of that.
I was going to say, so, I mean, that was really good still. That was good. It's really nice. So I've been doing, music lessons for about 20 years now. And, I've usually had about 40, 45 students of my own at a time. And seeing it with so many more students it's really like an actual school. It's really wonderful to see people grow and develop and, grow confidence. Like
you feel kind of like a father when you see it, for you, especially with how much you've taught. Yeah. When you see all these kids here and adults and you're like, this is a cool little family here.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, you did. It's all right. So
I was the interviewer for a minute.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for making me lose my train. Yeah, this is really great. So, it's great to see it in such a large set of people. And as Russ kind of loosely mentioned, the idea that people can be who they are here. We have people of all different, different cultures, different ages, different orientations, just
everything.
Different religion. It's wonderful. It's so cool. And everyone is treated as an equal. Music is, I forgot. I'm pretty sure this isn't the right quote. Music is the great equalizer. That's not it at all.
It popped into my head.
It's not right though. Okay. But let's pretend like it is. Sure, now I know. Mm-hmm. But it's obviously its own language, and people are speaking to each other. They're having fun. They're dancing in their lessons. They're singing. We have, it's just like these little kids just running around screaming, making so much noise in the front rooms, and it's so wonderful because this is 2 years in the making for Russ and I, to get to this point where we're at, and we've both had more gray hairs than we used to. And
they're gathering.
Yeah, they are gathering.
They're planning something up there.
They're loosening. No, he's not going to lose his hair ever, and that's just annoying.
I think I'm gaining your hair.
You probably are.
Yeah.
But it's what the whole wisdom is this. Music is wonderful. We're able to create a lovely community here, and everyone, for them, seems happy here, and it's a great place to be. And like we said in the beginning of this, that Russ and I want this place to be like we are, like feel the passion, the compassion, the openness, the ability to be yourself, the want to do better, the want to work hard at what you love we could see it in the building itself, in the staff, in the kids, and gosh, and we're branching out to the community, and it's everything we wanted. We wanted to be able to have a business that we could make money at, but we wanted to be able to develop children. We wanted to be able to help adults reclaim their abilities that they used to have or start a new one. We wanted to be able to donate our time and what we have to the community, and that's what we're doing. And actually, spur of thought moment. I'm just going to do this. I'm doing it.
What do you got?
All right. Spokesperson, right?
Okay.
So check it out. So I don't know. Let's say the first person who comments on this podcast gets a free immersion pack on your thing.
Ooh. That's
4
45-minute lessons for free.
Yeah. So the first person, you just need to tell us.
Okay.
Yeah. Tag us at School of Rock Columbus. Yeah. So
nice.
No, but anyways, yeah. We're just basically, Russ and I can speak for him this, we're just thankful to be where we're at right now.
It sounds like it. That's good.
Yeah.
No. Well, thanks to our experts, Chad Greenwald and Russ Miller from School of Rock Columbus, for joining us today. Listeners, thank you for joining us. Check our show notes for contact information and the resources we've discussed today. You can find this information at lookingforwardourway.com. We are looking forward to hearing your feedback on this and any of our other podcast episodes.